Oh, yay, I'm doing it. Hey, you guys. What's up, everybody? So I've been trying to get a live going. I've had internet issues. I am not feeling well. But to God be the glory anyhow. I wanted to show you guys because we're going to be doing Cutting Through the Culture at 7:30 over on Chad O. Jackson's channel. So tune in to that. But I wanted to come on because there was an assistant principal who said some very disturbing things here in Florida, in Gainesville, Florida. He said some very disturbing things about books. So I'm going to play this for you guys so you can hear it for yourself. It's pretty disgusting. Let me get it here. Let's see. Hold on. How is everyone? How are you guys doing tonight? Hopefully you guys don't feel like I do. Hopefully you missed this bug that's been going around. But it's been not nice. Not a good thing. Let me grab this for you guys real quick. You're not going to believe like what this assistant principal said. It's insane. And I have some other comments about it. So here we go.
So you think an 8-year-old would be age appropriate to be reading about pornography and dirty magazines from school?
Yes.
Did you hear that? Let me play that for you one more time. Turn up your volume so you can hear what this crazy person said.
So you think an 8-year-old would be age appropriate to be reading about pornography and dirty magazines from school?
Yes.
Yeah. So you just heard that. So he said, he was asked, do you think it's appropriate for an 8-year-old to be reading pornography or seeing pornography or reading, quote, dirty magazines when they're in school? This is an assistant principal. He's in Gainesville, Florida. And he said, yes, it's appropriate. And what I want to talk to you guys really quickly about tonight is who are the people that's talking to your children? Because I see too often, hey, William, hey, Mac. Yeah, it is sickening. I see way too often parents kind of just thinking that these are like one-off situations. These, like these are not, the schools are mostly good. And, it's kind of like that one time, that one place. That is an assistant principal of a elementary school who says that pornography and dirty magazines are okay for your 8-year-old to view in school. That is a father. He has 3 children of his own. Like, we have got to understand who is talking to our children. Like, these people really mean like what they say. Do you notice that there is never any, they're not trying to pull back on what they believe. They're not saying like, well, I don't really think it's okay to show porn to kids. No, they're like, yeah, show the porn to the kids. Yeah. They have no chill about, they are blatantly, they're like, yep, we're going to mutilate the kids. Yep, we're going to lock you up if you try to, stop us from mutilating the kids. You are, against things that parents should be doing. Like, you're the problem. You are the problem as a parent. And what I want to say to you is, learning to communicate with your children, having conversations with your children is where you take back your power. Hey, Mac, that is where you take back your power. You have to start having real conversations with your kids. And I'm not talking about like, oh, the left is crazy. Oh, America 1776. Oh, Trump 2024. No, I'm talking about real conversations, getting to know your child, bonding with your child so your voice is the louder voice in their life. This whole notion that, oh, kids are just going to naturally rebel against you and they're not going to listen to anything that you say when they get a certain age. Okay, if that's what you believe, then why are they listening to these teachers? They are the same kids. These teachers are adults. They're listening. They're buying into what these teachers are saying. They are buying they are drinking the messages. This is why the left indoctrinates so well, because they aren't afraid to have the conversations. They have these conversations with your kids, and they present compelling arguments on, why America's so racist, or, why gender ideology, or, why a boy can be a girl. Because kids, there's no parents. We're not presenting a counter narrative. We're letting them have all the conversations. Basic parent skills have somehow become lost. Politics has no place here. It's about being the parent. Yeah, basic parent skills. Yeah, politics has politics has no place in a school, but you're sending you're sending your children to a government facility. It's political by nature. It is political by nature. And if we can't get our kids out, then how are we, what are we going to do in the meantime? Because y'all know, I believe in get the kids out. If you can't do that, what do you do? Max says the teachers are telling the children to not trust their parents. That's exactly right. And if you saw my short, I think I did it. If the teachers are telling the kids not to listen to the parents, then the parents come in and say, listen to your teacher. We're literally telling our children, yeah, listen to your teacher. And the teacher is telling them to not listen to your parents. So we are pointing the children in the direction of to the teacher. We're pointing them in the direction, go and listen to the teacher. Go and listen to them. Because that's what we've been brought up to do. That's what we still have this romanticized idea of the public school system. We still think, it's pretty good. It's a pretty good system. And it's a pretty good system, and it's something that everybody needs. It's not too bad. No, it's bad. It's worse than what you think. And unless and until we really start to understand, they are really good at presenting compelling arguments to your kids. And there is no counter narrative that is being had by parents to their own children. If you have these conversations, meaningful conversations with your children, your voice will be the louder one. So when they hear this stuff in class, your children would be like, no, absolutely not. How do I know this? Because I started doing this with my children years ago. So when the crazy stuff started coming in the schools, my kids were like, nope, sorry, nope. So they were not able to indoctrinate my children, because my kids but this is something that you can learn. You can provide a shield around your children. You can provide a shield around your children. If we do not, your kid will grow up to be one of those children. They're going to be further left than what we see today. William Reynolds says right now it's time to homeschool. It is time. But what do we do, William, for parents who can't homeschool? For some parents, that is a real reality that they cannot homeschool. It's a real thing. You know, excuse me, different circumstances. So what do we tell those parents? That's why I'm encouraging you, if you cannot homeschool your children, you know what? And I will say this. So my kids are in a homeschool co-op, right? And just because your child is in a homeschool, like even in the co-op, there are some children who have some very, their families are different. So it's not like, okay, I'm home. Unless your kids you are the parent, and you are like, if they are in a homeschool co-op, or if they are in a micro school, if any time they are not directly in your presence at all times, you should be talking to your children anyway. You should be the one, as those of us that are Christians, you need to be the one to be speaking into your children's life, period. Your voice should be the loudest voice. They should become, my daughter, she just left my desk. She was just sitting right here. And we were having very, very heartfelt conversations. My 17-year-old. Hey, Letitia. Thank you. Yes, thank you. William says, find someone who can do it for you. Your kids' lives depend on. But that's what I'm saying. Okay, William, even if your children are if they're not getting it directly from you, we need to stop outsourcing parenting. You got to stop outsourcing the parenting, the education. You have to. The Bible says, train up a child in the way that they should go. And when they get older, they won't depart from it. Okay. So if that's the instructions from the Lord God Almighty, don't we have to be the ones educating our children? I think we need to be the ones. What does that training look like? We quote that scripture all the time, but what does that training actually look like? We have to get real about what the training looks like that we're giving to our kids, and learning and having them grow up into the way that they should go, so they won't depart from it. Depart from what? Sending them to a public school with no counter narratives, no other voices that combat this foolishness. This assistant principal just said that 8-year-olds could watch porn. Let me play it for you one more time. Like, this is insane.
Do you think an 8-year-old would be age appropriate to be reading about pornography and dirty magazines from school?
Yes.
So you think an 8-year-old would be age appropriate to be reading about pornography and dirty magazines from school?
Yes.
What? Like, if we were really where we should be as believers, as a country, as moral people, even if you are not a Christian, every parent on this side of heaven should be at that school with pitchforks. This man just said that 8-year-old babies should be watching porn, y'all. This is crazy. And this is in Florida with DeSantis, with the best. We've done, ain't no more legislation to be done. Okay. We have passed all the legislation constitutional wise that we can do. Okay. Ain't no more legislation that can be done at this point. You can go down to the school board, but that takes a while. Meantime, your child is still being indoctrinated. This man just said that 8-year-old kids can watch porn at school and dirty magazines. What kind of sick country have we become? And we'll just be waiting on the next libs of TikTok video to post the next, outrageous, psychotic thing. We're just waiting for the next story. It was too much for me. I have a workshop that I put together. I'm telling you exactly what I did with my kids. So if you cannot pull your kids out, you need to start having conversations about your children. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be so passionate about it, but I'm just saying, like, the children that are under this man's leadership, under this assistant principal, these are the ideas, and he is when you have leadership, his or her vision, it is put forth amongst everybody. And this man says that elementary kids, it's cool for them to be looking at porn and dirty magazines. What's the problem? If you are not having conversations with your children, meaningful, substantive conversations with your own kids, this is what they will grow up to think, that this is okay. They will not know how to protect themselves or tell mom and dad that some crazy man is trying to do not nice things to me, because they will think it's okay. This is trauma on steroids. This is nothing to play around with. Do you know how much trauma comes from children being introduced to sex too early? Do you know how much trauma comes from children being touched inappropriately, and all kinds of things that happen to little kids? And this demon, psychopath, because I don't know what else to call you. You cannot possibly tell me that it is cool for kids to be looking at porn. Like, what? And where? And how? Please help me understand. Letitia, a whole demon. Gotta pull the kids out, cannot just accept this. Yeah. Today's parents nowadays don't want to work concerning their children's future. It takes full-time, hands-on dedication to invest in a child. And that's something that today's parents don't want to do. A lot of parents don't want to do that, Letitia. And I think there are some parents that don't. But as I've been in this world and I've talked to tons of parents over the years now, I think that they don't know what to do. We have so many, your kid, on one hand, they're telling us, we've grown up with the idea of, like, listen to your teacher, like, the school is good. Now we're seeing this thing, okay, well, schools are bad. Then we're like, okay, well, it's the children are just going to be naturally rebelling against you anyway. So a lot of these things we're kind of just grown to accept. So a lot of this don't really know how to have these conversations. Like, whoever thought that you would need to be having a conversation to an 8-year-old about why porn is bad? Because most parents would not think that would be something that you needed to talk about. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like a lot of these things, like, we're not really equipped to really, like, know how to even deal with this. So I feel for parents who are like, oh my God, like, I don't even know. Where do I start? What do I do? How do I handle this? Brian says, totally unacceptable, but banning books is also wrong. Homeschool isn't the answer. Common sense is. Okay, Brian, boy, today ain't the day. And I am not the one. Don't come up here with that foolishness. Who's banning books? Show me where you can. If you want an 8-year-old to go get some teaching your kid how to be a racist or showing children pornography, show me where in America you can't go and buy the book for your own child. Don't start with me. Do not. It's not today ain't the day. Go. Okay. In Pensacola, you can't go and buy a book. If you want to go and show porn to your own kids, you're nasty. If you want to do that, show me where you can't do it. Show me where you cannot go buy a book with your crazy self. Show me. It's not banning books when we're saying don't have certain books in schools. You must have went to public school. See, you got me on one now. You must have went to public school too. That you don't understand what banning books was. Banning books, just so you know, was where the book was totally and completely unavailable in society, okay? Not where it was not available in a school. If that's the case, then dirty magazines have been banned from schools for years. Porn has been banned from schools for years. Y'all get on one word or a phrase, and now you want to act like you know what the heck you're talking about. Don't come up here with that nasty, disgusting foolishness. You better come correct, because today ain't the day. Homeschool isn't the answer. Well, then tell me why corporations are hiring homeschooled kids at higher rates, because the public school kids cannot even read at grade level, can't do math at grade level. So if homeschool ain't the answer, what is? And where is this common sense? Because it ain't happening in the schools. They're telling you in the schools, the public schools primarily, that your boys can be girls and girls can be boys. What kind of common sense is that? Boy, get out of here with that foolishness. You sound like a whole crazy person. I am very, listen, you, I'm trying to keep my salvation. Lord, help me, Jesus. Suggest you check Escambia County. Porn has nothing to do with it. Has to do with well-regarded works. Okay, yeah, like what? Because I've seen the books. I've seen them. And just because a book happens to be talking in history as well, a well-regarded person, you can paint a narrative, Brian. Just let me school you for a second, because you're probably with the public school too. You can have a book that has a well-regarded person, but the way the story is painted, it shows that it paints a political picture. It paints an incomplete story that doesn't give children the full picture of what was going on. That is not how you educate, sir. You don't give children, when you're trying to really educate on something, you need to give them both sides. So just because something is well regarded, what is that book? Blue, All Boys Aren't Blue or whatever. That is an award-winning book as well. But it talks about anal sex and dildos. That's a well-regarded book too. That's on y'all's list of banned books. And you think that's okay for kids? Man, get off my, get off. Get off. Okay? Anyway, let me calm down. Woo! Woo! Anyway, sorry, you all. You give all points of view, not just, I don't even know what you're talking about. You talking about that kids basically should have access to all books and that there should not be boundaries for children. You're sick. You're sick and you need to seek help. Okay? Seek help for yourself, because you got some stuff going on in there that you needed a parent to have some good conversation with you, because it ain't all working right. I'm just sorry to tell you. Sorry. Anyway, my point is we need to have better conversations with our children, because people like Brian, people like that assistant principal, people that they do not have your children's best interests in mind, they are going to be speaking to your children. They have no problem giving their points of view. They have zero problem letting your kids know what they think. And Hey, Angel, girl, we might need to, the Brian, we might need to do some time out or something because he's working my nerves. So if you care to, thank you, friend. But that's what I wanted to say. That is why the left indoctrinates so well, because they are able to speak into your children and they are not afraid to do so. Super 4822 says, I would never send my kids to public school. That superintendent needs to be arrested and barred from being in a job involving children. I totally agree. And I've pulled my children out, and y'all know that I think that homeschooling is the best way to do, but there are people who cannot. So what do we do for those kids? There are millions, 50 plus millions of kids that are still in public schools. We can't just let the left just have free reign with these babies. So we got to do something to help them. I have a workshop that's coming up on Tuesday that you can come on, and here, I'll put the link there. You can register for it and come on and learn how to protect your children. Who really decides what things children are exposed to? The right has not presented a real alternative. You as the parent decides what your children are exposed to. That's who. You as the parent decides what your children should be exposed to. And if you cannot pull your children out of these indoctrination camps that are not producing anything, they haven't produced anything worth a doggone in decades, what are you going to do? So not really even a left-right thing. The schools have not produced and are continuing to not produce anything worth a doggone. Maybe not the cut. They ain't producing nothing worth anything. So you decide as a parent. It is up to you, because God gave these babies to you to be good stewards over. Anyway, y'all, let me run because I got to hop on our Sunday show for 7:30. Y'all go check out Chad O. Jackson's channel. Let me see. youtube.com/@Chad O. Jackson. Okay, so that's what we will be. We'll be talking about what is our topic tonight? The Black struggle to pick a struggle. That's what we're talking about tonight. It's going to be a great show. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you. I will see you next time. I am sorry about my rant. Forgive me. Love you. Bye-bye.